Hey guys, welcome to episode 3 of Lawn Care Skull Sessions. I'm BJ and this is Ben.
G'day.
Today we've got a controversial topic for everyone. What is it, Benny?
We're going to be discussing guards or no guards on your whippersnippers, line trimmers. What are we going to call it for this episode? Because I have to call it a whippy.
Yeah,
whippersnipper.
Yeah.
So if we do, I don't know if we've got any Americans that watch.
Yeah.
If we do, we're talking about a line trimmer. So that's just to get them on board.
Yep.
All right. Well, before we talk about that, let's touch on some feedback. What feedback did you get from the last episode, mate?
Well, we had a little bit on IG. We had some from what was his name?
I don't know where. Look, honestly, I get personal messages. We get Facebook stuff. We get the skull session stuff on IG. So the stuff is, I don't know where it comes from, but I try to respond to as much.
I know Michael Carroll was in there.
Was it Troy Carroll or Troy Cox?
Oh, Troy Carroll, yeah.
Yeah.
He sent us a photo of himself.
In his undies?
In his undies, yeah. He's tidy boy. Oh no, they were blue. I was going to say tidy whities.
And, apparently we're making people late for work because they bung us on a Monday morning before they go to work.
Sorry about that, guys and girls. It's
we love that feedback.
Yeah,
we
it's
appreciate that.
That's what's going to keep us going. All the good feedback, and like we say, every episode we do is fire it at us. Give us anything you want to hear about. Just let us know, and we'll try to fit it in and learn as much as we can about it, and then get it to you.
And so that involves new topics, new discussions. We have an idea of what we want to talk about in advance, but I mean, most of this is freestyle anyway.
Yeah.
So if something better pops up, a suggestion from you guys, we'd love to hear it. I know there's been a suggestion about hiring employees.
Yep, that's a good one.
Also building revenue once you've got your business started. What is the next level? So good topic suggestions.
Yeah, all good topics. And sometimes we think the same way, and it's really
I know your body.
He knows me inside now. Mate, it's really beneficial for us, for you guys and girls, to let us know what you guys want to hear and what you think might be beneficial from us. You've heard a little bit about what we do, and if there's anything that we can help you with, we'd love that. So,
2 more shout outs. Let's say thank you to Rob Shearer and International Mowers over at Skag Australia for hooking us up.
Woo.
I finally got me Skag tee. I know lots of guys on LMCA would have received theirs by now.
Yeah,
I'm not important enough, so...
Oh, you got yours delivered by post by me.
Yeah.
That's important.
Other people had theirs.
Yeah.
Ways.
Yeah, but they had to go and get theirs from the dealer. Yours is sitting here waiting for you.
Also, let's get a shout out to our mates over at Cox Mowers. They hooked us up with some stuff. We couldn't put all of it in here.
Yeah.
We got a ton of
Skag
stuff.
Yeah, we're overwhelmed with the support that we're actually getting. It's awesome.
Yep. And then another quick plug for Gary Ashton. He has his interview now live with Anthony Moore.
Yep.
LMCA admin, Antoinette. I haven't had a chance to listen. I think it dropped yesterday.
Yeah. Another bearded brother.
So that's going to be a great listening to Anthony Moore. So
yeah, very interesting.
One day we hope to have him on there too, here. So
yeah.
All right, cool. So let's dive into it.
Whew.
Whippersnipper guards. Okay, now guys, I want to say straight off the bat. Okay, I'm not a lawyer.
No.
Neither is BJ. In this discussion, we're not going to be telling you to use your guard or remove your guard. What we've simply done is we're just going to have the discussion. We're going to talk about the purposes of the guard. Now, this is whether anyone agrees or not. We're just gonna, we've done a little bit of our own research.
Yeah.
Some of it's a little misleading. Look, above all, whether you use a guard or whether you don't use a guard.
Yeah.
If I use a guard, that shouldn't bother you, right?
No, that's 100%. That's what we don't want to cause a bit of tension. I know everyone's got their own opinion.
Well, look, I love stirring up shit, right?
Yeah.
I do love it. But on a topic like this, we just want everyone to know whether you use a guard or whether you don't use a guard. We're not judging or attacking that person.
No.
There's no, you're not an idiot or a geek if you do. You're not a loose cannon if you don't. Above all, whatever the information is, we don't want people to get hurt or be in a position where they're in a lawsuit, whatever the case is.
No.
So, needed to say that. Still feel free to abuse me or send in your abuse. Look, I kind of enjoy that.
Sure.
No one abuses BJ.
No.
All right, so now go for it.
Saying that, information on this topic was actually one of the harder things to find. Like the last couple of days, we've both been back and forth. Like we've spent hours on the phone chatting. Like, what have you found? Have you found anything yet? And
I gotta say,
it's doing my head in a bit.
The first 2 episodes that we did, you can see my computer here, and it looks like I'm reading notes or some sort of run sheet, and the computer has actually been blank.
Yeah.
And me and BJ are just freestyling. We've actually done some research, and I felt like I was at fucking school.
It was horrible, man.
Like, even one day I sat down and I was like, man, I'm gonna have a nap. This sucks.
Yeah.
It was fucked.
Yeah.
But look, we did get some. We got some quotes from the warranties and warranties section from Power Up Lawn Care. So our mates over at Power Up, they gave us an explanation. Corey Ballard has given us an explanation.
Yeah.
We had a great LMCA.
Yeah, LMCA thread.
Yeah. Let's dive right into that, man.
It was a to and fro. It's like a 50-50 thing. Like, some people are really all about the guard and saying that it is a must, and then you've got guys that are saying that it is okay not to run it.
Well, what was some of the comments that got you the most heated, or something that you say didn't agree with?
Look, to be honest, it was pretty like, as far as these conversations have gone in the past, this one wasn't too bad. Matthew Jenkins.
People have gotten used to it now. Like,
I think it's been brought up many times.
Yeah,
and
I love it. I want to say one thing. Alistair Duncan, who everyone knows that we don't get along the best, but he did have a comment in here and he said, this gem again.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how I felt too. Because, sometimes, you don't have input, but you just got to see what other people are writing.
It was perfect timing too, because we had this picked out before that thread got posted, and it was just like
this was going to be the first episode, but we thought, let's cool it,
We'll touch on a few easier subjects first, and then So Matthew Jenkins straight up said, no voids any insurance for starters. So I was like,
yep,
we need proof. That's the one thing that we cannot find, is concrete proof that it will or will not void your insurances.
That's true. Look, we've tried to do the research. This is a situation where we're not going to, because we don't know, we're not going to tell you that, yes or no, it voids the insurance.
No.
What I will say it does void, if you remove the trimmer guard from your Whippy, it will void your warranty.
Yeah.
Right. So that is like, the first time I heard that, I was like, well, why? So then you go on to learn the trimmer guard is there to regulate the amount of whippersnipper cord that you're using.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So nothing about safety yet.
Yeah.
That if you're buying a brand new machine, that's definitely one thing to note.
Yeah.
That if you remove that guard and you have something wrong with your machine, it kind of doesn't matter what it is, because if it's anything to do with the carby or anything like that, the dealership can actually say, well, you've taken the guard off, and this has caused the engine to over rev or do whatever.
Yeah.
So when these things are tested, because I've seen the guys over at PLP do testing.
Yeah, I've seen
they
it.
hang them up in these little ropes, and they hold the throttles on, and they put like a little taco on there, and that guard is moved up and down till it gets the perfect revs, and that's where it's set. So we were in all our research. We haven't found it. The big question is it there to protect third party and property?
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing, right?
That is the biggest thing.
So we had a comment from, this might take me a second to find it, but you can rattle off anything else.
Yeah, so Waldman finds that. I also did some research on, I just went through manuals, and I also couldn't find anything to say that it was there to protect a third party. I feel like there was more emphasis on the operator. There was nothing really to do with a third party. So that was what I kept coming up with.
Yep. Now, Daniel Barner brings up an interesting topic. So he said, I'm just skimming over this. He was a supervisor for a civil company, so on-site works. Any piece of machinery or tool that was modified in any way, he would not let on site.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about guards on and off, if you're going to be working anywhere near construction, you would expect that no matter what, that you're not going to get on site unless you have a guard. Now, I want to say personally, everyone, in 20 years of mowing, I've never been denied on site, whether it be construction, retirement, or whatever. Not saying that it's, I believe very much of exactly what Daniel was saying, but personally, I've never been denied.
No, and I, not as many years as you, but I've never had an issue with walking on site, and I've done a few bigger sites, and it's never been an issue for me either.
And would you say out of all of the comments, we've probably got a 50-50 crowd?
Yeah,
50-50 crowd? Yeah, okay.
Most people were saying that they actually left their guard at the shop. Now that's saying...
Nah, man, I've got to give everyone a heads up, right? What you do is, if you don't want to run that guard, just man up and do 2 or 3 lawns, preferably wet. If it's dry, just hose them in, right? Use that guard, get it a little dirty. Then if you want to remove the guard, you do that. Keep all the bolts and stuff. And if anything happens to your machine, you just bolt that thing right back on. So when the dealership... What? That's cool. I'm not telling people, I'm just saying, if you have made the decision that you don't want to run the guard...
Boy, and this is why people don't give me shit, eh?
Well, whatever. I mean, I'm just saying. Well, who's going to bring me up? A dealer? Catch ya. Okay, fuck off.
Go on.
No, I mean, look, I'm saying, if you have already made the decision that you don't want to run the guard, that's what I do. Now, look, I'm going to tell you this. I do product testing for Power Up Lawn Care, so some Bushranger stuff, right? Now, they sat me down in the office and they said, you've got to keep these guards on. And the guards on the new battery stuff that we're testing, they're really quite good. They're something that I can deal with.
Yeah.
They're very slim guards, all this stuff. I've kept them on there, and I've tried to be a really good boy.
Yeah.
But eventually, man, they come off.
Yeah.
And like, as far as the engine revs and all that stuff goes, I'm not one of these dudes that has me Whippy cord out here. Yeah, like, I keep it, where I think it, like, it's weird, like, I can hear it when it's purring exactly where it needs to be.
Yeah.
Now, I will say that it's about, how much longer you reckon than what the factory would set it at?
Oh, maybe 2 inches, if that.
Yeah, like that sounds like the sweet spot for every application.
Yeah.
But look, what I was saying about getting the guard dirty and everything. you know, hey, it's one way to just,
It is.
you know, if you got to take that back to the dealership within that warranty period, just bung that guard back on, just be like, don't know what you're
But
talking
you
about.
know what you'll find is a lot of dealers are ex-contractors and they probably ran no guards as well. So you obviously don't run guards. I don't run guards.
Look, I try really hard, man. I do. I try. When I get a new, look, you know, years and years ago when I was a serious everyday contractor, man, I would unbolt that, like, we'd get new machines all the time. I'd unbolt that guard so quickly, and the loop handles that have that little bit there, I just get me loppers out. Bang. Interesting sidebar, you know, I always wondered what the hell that is for.
Yeah. I still don't know what that's for.
I've got two explanations. One is if you're working on a hillside and you put that machine down, that is going to stop.
Okay, fair enough.
Until you give it one of these, and then she's gone skis. The other is, and I'll have to stand up, hopefully it's still on camera, when you're in the slashing position, if you're running a blade and you get any sort of kickback, that bar is there so that it hits you and you don't go bang at a wall. Now, it would be really interesting to see how many of the guards off people still keep that little bit. Because do you keep that on?
No, it's gone.
It
gets in my way.
It's awful. Like, I've had new machines where, because we're doing product testing, you use them for 3-4 weeks or whatever, you give your feedback, you give the machine back. So I can't just get me loppers out. Some of the brands, you can actually undo the bolts and slide it out, but some of the tricky bastards make it all one mold.
And then you have to just lop it off.
And yeah, I mean, for me, it's the worst experience.
You touched on something too.
I touch on lots of things.
Blades with guards. So when you're slashing, like, will that impede, like, having a blade on with a guard? If you're slashing just trash past baling, it's just going to get...
Yeah.
I've never used a guard on slashing.
That's why I look so stunned right now.
Yeah, because you've never done it either?
Well, I don't think... No, like, I think if I was ever putting... Look, realistically, no, I don't think I've ever used a blade.
Yeah.
You're talking about a disc or a...
Yeah.
You know, one of those things. I've never used one with a guard on.
No.
Something that is interesting when we're talking about modified tools, we all know Greg Anderson. I don't know if he watches this, but he's probably one of the only people I can think of that uses the Edge It Pro.
Yeah.
Now, the Edge It Pro, to me, is way safer than any guard.
Yeah.
Because you get 360 degrees coverage. It would be really interesting to see if you could still get onto a site with the Edge It Pro. Well, I mean, modified is fucking modified.
Yeah, that's it. Modified,
you know what I mean?
And do certain types of heads. Like, I run a Tanaka style aluminium head, which I think will bring the RPM up on the machine a little bit, because it's just a small, light disc.
Yep.
That's another modification. If you're not using the head that it came with, I don't know.
Well, so that's when we're really getting into the nitty gritty. So
fuck that, eh?
I haven't found the comment yet. It might have been from, actually, I think he's a Van Der as well. Van Der Walt. He's me buddy.
Brendan.
Yeah, he sent me. Yes. Okay, so if you shouldn't remove your guard, does that mean we shouldn't bump up the revs on the mowers? Should be wearing Legionnaires with gloves and full body clothing, can't add aftermarket parts, genuine parts only, fitted by the mower shop only. So that's when you start getting into the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
Look, I'm on the other side of things now where we do aftermarket parts. Yeah. And you got blades out there, like mower blades, made in China. You got no idea what steel they're using. You got no idea what testing has been done.
Yeah.
You know,
or whether they're even up to Australian standards. Like, I'm sure Australia has a standard, and you're just buying something from China.
So, you know, like, I know the OEM manufacturers. I've never seen this, but I've had it explained to me before. When they test the discharge chutes on the mowers, they have to meet certain requirements, and I think they have the mower in this like big machine, and they throw marbles up underneath it, and the marbles get spat out of the discharge chute, and a certain amount of marbles have to stay below a certain height for it to be claimed safe to use. So, you know, I mean, in terms of aftermarket parts, there's no way that they would have that sort of testing. And we've all seen it. We've all seen shit blades, you know, cut in half, you know, doing all sorts of things. So that's when we start getting into the nitty gritty.
Yeah, that's away from the topic. That might be a whole nother topic. But yeah, there's so many different ways to look at it.
So Paul Cara says, guards off for 30 years. I wear clogged shin protectors. Never broken a window trimming. I do it purely for less weight. So there was probably 20 or 30% of comments of the guys that removed them say that the weight distribution.
Yeah, I watched a video yesterday saying that, you know, it drops like a pound on the front. It was an American video. I don't know about a pound, but it depends on the guards. Now, like, okay, so we were talking before this about Shindowa and Echo, and I think Bushy's bringing out some.
Bushranger's got pretty good.
Some smaller. Like,
I only know that because like I've been, you know, doing some of the behind the scenes stuff, and I mean the guards guys, they're getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Now I want to say Ben Patterson, you know, we were conversing back and forth yesterday on this thread, and he said, like what you said, it's quite often referred to as a safety guard. Yeah. So people, when they say, okay, you know, it's you're going to end up in a lawsuit or you're not going to be covered by your insurance, it's called a safety guard, but it still never states that it's for third party property. It's operator safety guard.
Yeah, a lot of the time it states for operator safety. Yeah. It's
Now, Stephen Green mentions, I know we're talking a lot about LMCA, but I mean, there's 70 comments, so it's credible info. But Stephen Green says anytime he has ever made a claim for a smashed window, he has never been asked if the machine had been modified.
And that's a fair point too. Like I've made a claim for a few. Never. Well, I had one that the cost went all the way up to like $1,400 because it was in a brand new.
I had a bad. It's that black car. It's that black glass. Yeah, it was special glass.
It was a brand new car.
If you do one of them,
and the lady like wound the window up and down, burnt the motor out. So it was this massive claim. It just went crazy. Yeah. And it just went through sweet. They didn't ask me. They didn't even know what I was using. Yeah. It's just broken window.
So what we're gonna do is so this is from Weingartz. I think they're just a dealership in America, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So doing some research. Okay, so the guard keeps the trimmer in working condition and should always be in place during operation. If you remove the guard, there are risks to your machine. The guard is critical to the safety of the operator and people near the trimmer. Now, the near the trimmer part, the people near the trimmer, is the only reference that I have found to a third party. Everything has been operator safety. So, you know, my argument is, if I don't want to use that guard right, and someone questions it, my argument is, how is this guard that is facing the rear of the machine going to protect anybody in front of me? Yeah. How is it?
It's not. Like, you can still smash windows with a guard on. You hear it. Like I have run a guard. When I first started, I was running a guard and I've broken a window with a guard. It's just one of those things. It's especially with the smaller ones. Like, imagine the smaller ones now.
Yeah, they don't do fuck.
You know, both sides and the front. It's literally like a calf sweep. Like, it's literally a small. Like, it's probably as wide as that. It's not.
We'll bring up an image of the new Echo Shindewa. Yeah, nice. We'll bring it up in this, and we can show you the new ones. But you know, you've got nothing there.
Yeah, you can tell that is just to protect your operator's shins.
Yeah.
And that's it.
So in saying this, you know, Ben Patterson, he mentions to me, he said, you know, with all this being said, you know, this is the same conversation I was having with him.
Yeah.
You know, he wouldn't want to be the one standing in court if someone lost their right. Now,
No.
I also want to say that neither do I. If it happened to me personally, I would fight in court to my death that the guard would not protect a third party. If I had the money, I would stand in front of a glass pane window and I would stand there in the rocks with a guard on and I would just sit the snipper in there and I don't reckon it would take 20 seconds to smash that window.
No.
You know, would it?
It really wouldn't.
But I mean, don't get me wrong,
thing,
your shins are going to feel a little
yeah.
better.
Yeah. I like. Look, the only thing I can see with this whole argument is when you're talking about other people, is staff. So once I started thinking about it today, I was thinking, geez, I think, you know, maybe I should put one on for my staff member. I do a lot of the snipping, and he does a lot of the.
As an employee, I would look at you and say you're a dog.
I know he's gonna fucking hate me.
But
it's 100%.
I think
he's the operator, and he's my responsibility. So maybe it's time that I put that guard on for him. He might hate me.
I think you.
But he'll fucking hate me a lot more if he doesn't have any eyes to fucking look at my sexy body all day.
I think if you're going to do that, then you have to put a guard on as well. There's no way in the world I'd ask my guys to put a guard on.
I know. I just was thinking about it today. It's one of those things that.
DJ would probably do it.
Yeah.
If I asked him, maybe.
Yeah, I understand the whole practice what you preach.
But if it was me, I'd be like, nah, man.
Yeah.
Like, are you going to put a guard on?
Yeah. Fuck.
That's just the way I am. But like, I know.
Just lie and say someone told me I had to do it.
Years and years ago, we used to run the same alloy heads that you did. And I had a couple of young fellas, and they just kept busting them prematurely. Like, they'd bust eventually, right? But they just kept busting them prematurely. And I said, fuck this, I'm going back to speed feeds, which is what we've run now since then. And I really, really, really hated speed. I don't know why. I guess you just got to adapt. But I didn't want to, right? But because I had all my boys doing it, I ran a speed feed.
Yeah. And
then that way it's like, oi, you know, look, I have to do this because of you anyway.
Yeah.
So
I don't want to resent him.
All right, cool. So, okay, now I also touch base with Corey Ballard. Obviously, he's in America, so you know you would expect things to be a little different, but pretty much from what he sent me, it sounds the same. So I was like, "Hey man, we're doing this, this, and this," and he said, "We are required to use them on most large OSHA compliant job sites. We did it for years, but they serve a purpose and protect the operator from flying debris. So now we run them on every trimmer. Although we've modified them a touch, so that what he's done is he's moved them up the shaft a little so they can run a little bit of longer cord. But essentially, and he's got like a huge. It's not you know he's got like more employees than people that I know.
If you haven't looked into Corey Ballard stuff, Benny does a bit of his stuff over here in Australia. Just have a look at some of the walkthroughs. Like he knows what he's talking about. He's got a massive business.
Yeah.
Although it's American, so it's completely different to Australian. But some of the points definitely cross over.
Yeah, I mean, look, he pretty much said it protects the operator. So I did go and say, okay, I haven't found anything about third party yet, rah, rah, rah. And he said it certainly protects debris from coming back at the operator. That's the entire intention. So, like I said, nothing about a third party. Now, I will give you a perspective from the guys over at Power Up Lawn Care.
While Benny's doing that, I just want to reiterate that this is just our opinion, and like these are just the facts that we've found. and just the opinions and, you know, how these companies are doing their thing.
No, man, I want to stir up some shit. No, what BJ is trying to say is that obviously, look, we don't run guards.
Yeah.
We don't care if you run a guard. What gets me heated is when people say, you know, if you take someone's eye out, that's it, your insurance would be voided. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying, I don't know the answer to that, right?
Yeah.
But what I am saying is, based on the information, and I've got some more stuff here, none of that information is related to a third party. So, and like I said, the way that the guards are shaped and the way that the new guards are coming out, it's less and less about safety and more about the actual workings of the trimmer. So this is from the warranties department over at Power Up Lawn Care. So Power Up Lawn Care is Bushranger and Hustler guys. They also have GA Spares, which is all of your aftermarket pieces. So this is from JAP. So number one is safety. The guard is designed to reduce the risk of injury from foreign objects flung backwards toward the operator by the cutting attachment, nylon head or metal blade. Okay. So then we have limits the length of cord due to the blade on the guard. That's that little cutting blade. Yep. Excessive wear and load to clutch drum, drive shaft, gearbox, crankshaft and crankshaft bearings. Engine will not reach top RPM. Engine temperature will go up. Carbon up the piston ring, spark plug and muffler, not burning off oil due to not reaching top RPM. Engines are tested by the manufacturer to meet EPA standards and emission compliance period with the guard fitted. Refer to attached photo. And I don't know what that photo is.
I have no idea what it is.
But anyway, you can tell from that information that, so this is from a manufacturer's point of view. It never says anywhere that your guard is there to protect someone walking along the street, someone passing by. So, look, I'm not saying that. No, it's true.
I know it is a hard subject.
Like. Yeah, like I don't want someone to take their guard off, accidentally kill or injure someone, and go into court and say, Ben from so and so said that I could do this.
Yeah,
it's just
we're not telling people either way. It's up to you. It's all on you.
But at the same time, I really love it. I really love this discussion, and I get a little bit heated when people say this.
Yeah.
And
so, guys, we had some funny things come through on that LMCA sort of thread that we can't leave untouched. Steve Swank said, "I've cancelled my insurance just so I can have my guards off." I thought that was good.
I lolled at that one.
Lolled out loud.
I didn't. I thought I haven't liked it or anything, but I'm going to give it one of the little aha faces right now.
Brendan Vanderwald, I run the guard, no head.
Rick Williams thought it was only the bench shaft brigade who rolled with the guards off. Hey, I don't know. So, like I can't use a bench shaft.
No, I can't either.
I can understand a little bit, like just when I've never tried, but it kind of does look like it would be kind of easy-ish.
Especially if you flip it for upright.
Yeah.
But that's another thing. When you flip to do an upright, is the guard just out of the question?
Oh my gosh, yes.
I didn't even think of that. This is why we don't prepare, because it doesn't fucking...
Yeah, no, but this is good. We're thinking on the fly.
So, depending on which way you're discharging, which way you're walking, that guard is fucking useless.
Yeah, so like...
You could...
Well, let's go through... So like I know, say, Martin Safidi, for example. Yeah. He like... What does he do?
He rolls it.
He rolls it, and then he walks with it.
Yeah.
I tried to do that, I just couldn't.
Yeah. How do you up? And
it's the only way. I mean, it was how I learned to do it, and I could just boom straight into it. Yeah, all my workers that I've ever trained, and there's been a few of them.
Did you get all do it the same flip when you put the Darwin on? You get like a fucking
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't do it as much these days, but man, a couple of years ago when I was in, I even had like me and Rusty had like this little knee hop where you could go, you could just go bang, 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 bam, and then, drop it straight back in.
Yeah.
But what you're saying is very true. When you swing that up, whether you're walking forward or backward, everything this way,
which is you and fucking anyone down the street,
is completely unprotected. So, very valid point.
Well, it's just, what do you do? Do you say, oh I wasn't doing uprights when I fucking took that guy's eye out?
Yeah, so one thing that I did read on, I didn't call insurance companies, it was just, I just didn't know how to approach the conversation, but I did do some research on the websites, and it does say that to make a claim, there needs to be evidence of no misconduct. And when you're talking, misconduct, I do the same thing with my workers at the village. We don't break that many windows, but windows have been broken. Yeah. And if you get to a particular area and you've had multiple breaks in that area, you sit there and you talk to your workers and you're like, hey man, this happened last time.
Yeah.
You got to be aware of your surroundings. If there's some rocks on the ground or whatever, you can just leave that. I don't care.
Yeah.
And if they say anything to us, then, because we get NBN guys coming in, digging up shit, leaving shit, we get concreters coming in, leaving their muck everywhere. I mean, you can just put your hands up to it and say, so I think in a lot of these situations, now, it can't always be prevented. I've smashed my own car window before.
Yeah, so
and I've been 30 metres away from it. One story that is quite funny, that it wasn't funny for him, but Kiwi Dave, when he used to work for me. We were at a property on the north side. I'm just full going mad on the snipper, and I can see him. He's just pacing, doing lines on the Honda. And I felt a little bit of resistance, and out of the corner of my eye, I just saw Kiwi Dave drop like a sack of shit. And I've turned around and he's looking at me, and a rock like this big, which, man, rocks this big, rocks that big hurt, right? This thing was about that big. It's just got him straight in the knee and absolutely dropped him. And he was ages away from me.
Have you ever had one go straight up your nostril when you were
had it all.
running?
I sniffed a broken bottle once.
Yeah, so I did a light bulb.
Oh
man, the light bulb was crazy.
The glass bottle was really cool because it cut me on my forehead, and it wasn't one of those nasty lacerations or anything. It was just it was reasonable. But the blood was just intense. It was just bleeding heaps, and it was before camera phones. But these days, you'd be like, "Whoa!" and you could get it would have been cool.
When you were working before camera phones.
I was, man.
Camera phones aren't that new, but
yeah. I mean, I remember I was
you started a long time ago.
Yep. Yeah. So still some more fun comments in here. TLW Lawn Care, guard comes off before it goes on the ute. The Honda one's a stupid size. If it was smaller, I'd maybe leave it on. I don't know. So, I agree with that. I don't know, specific. I don't run the Hondas, but we did touch on the brand new Bushranger and the brand new Shindiver Echo styles. I think I would try and encourage people to at least have a crack at them.
Yeah, definitely.
Me personally, with I'm sort of set in my ways, and so I don't. It's just not something that I want to,
Yeah.
So shall we talk about the actual reasons why we don't run a guard, whether it be hindrance, weight, storage, whatever the case is?
Yeah.
Because
I guess so.
I gotta say, obviously on all our rigs now, and lots of guys and girls out there, we're using the Defender racks, right?
Yeah.
Available at catchpro.com.au. But if you've got those storage shelves, those guards can be a pain. It just adds bulk. You know, you're trying to get it in there, and, you know.
The old full size ones too, like they were like a half moon.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, because they're so much higher than where the actual head sits.
That's what I mean. You know, storage is a real issue.
Yes, that's where the bench shaft, because the bench shaft comes down and the guard is sort of even with it.
Yeah. So what's why is and don't say it's because of me. Come up with your own bloody excuses.
I just want to blame you for everything. No, I do it for the visual aspect.
Visual, good, that's what I want to hear.
So you can see exactly what you're about to hit. With that guard, especially like when I first started, it has become a habit now that I don't run a guard. I did get one of the new guards on my last Shindiwa, but I just took it off straight away just out of habit. So I that was the first thing that I noticed. As soon as I took it off, I had this like view that, you know, I couldn't I couldn't get with it.
And you don't run it on the 301, the Bushing?
No, I don't run a guard on it. No, I run a 262 and a 301, a bushy, and I've never felt the urge to put a guard on either of them. One has speed feed.
Yep.
And one has a Tanaka style head. Mm-hmm. We run really thick line. We run 3.3 diamond line, and it's like we don't run the line that long anyway because it is so thick. It stays the same length for a long time. We don't really need to really push it.
So with the information that I've got from Power Up, from Corey, and you know, some of the other bits of research, something, you know, the things that I've said, with all the talks about, you know, the engines overheating and, you know, revving high or revving low, whatever it is, does that make you feel like, okay, I can get more life out of my snippers?
Not really.
No. Yeah.
No, I don't think. Like I said, like, because we use the thicker cord, things like that, we don't run it super long, or it does feel like it's bogging down. One thing I did like drum into the people I've had work for me is use your ears when it comes to your whippersnippers. Like you said earlier, you can hear the sweet spot. Like you can hear it. You can, if you pull off too much cord or bump out too much cord, you just stick it on the road and you just fucking.
I can hear it. I can hear it and feel it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it is, but it's like, and sometimes it can really bug me too. Like, if I know that I don't have much trimmer cord left, and, you know, I'm trying to be conservative, I'm just like ropeable at that time because I'm like, I just want to hear that, you know, that mad sound where I just know that it's performing exactly the way that I'm compatible with it. I mean, you'd have to expect as well with your different trimmer line diameters, you know, like 2.4 is very different to 3.3, right? And, you know, I'd love to know how they account for that when they're doing their testing. They're like, fuck it, we'll just test it with 2.7. Because you hardly ever buy, even your commercial trimmers, when they come preloaded.
Yeah, they only come with 2.4.
Yeah.
Like, I've run 3.3 forever. I ran 3.3 and, like, I run it in the Bushy, I run it in the Shindiwa, and I run it in my old Shindiwa that I had for, like, 6 years, like an old 260. That thing got run into the ground. And it's still hanging up. I've got a 30-year-old Echo hanging up.
Some of my machines go back. I actually personally feel that 3.3 is too much. It feels...
Too much for your little fucking chicken arms.
I'm glad you said arms, because my machines are the same. No, I don't know. I just don't feel... I don't know. Yeah, I like 2.7.
Yeah.
And I run Vortex, but...
yeah, see, it's more for what we do. We use it for flattening a ton of...
Like mowing.
Yeah. Instead of mowing, we've got these... You know, some of the spaces that we have are like in between units, and we have 90-something units. They're probably two times this table size.
Usually you would take a skag, but they got bloody
curve
hoppers.
They got
curve hoppers like this.
But no, it's just easier to flatten them. It takes 5 minutes just to whip over it, and because it's a diamond edge, it just cuts it nice.
Yeah, like by the time you edge it and then soften the perimeter, you might as well just do it those couple of extra swipes.
The little table size in the middle, so especially because we run the Darwin's grip available at catchpro.com.au. We run the Darwin's grip.
Not at the moment.
Yeah, not at the moment.
I'm about to get assassinated.
Oh man, I've seen all the comments. When are they coming back?
It's alright, guys. Look, I texted Corey and I was like, man, someone is going to kill me if I don't get these in. He's like, look, I feel ya. We're getting to them. We're getting yours as soon as we can. So they are coming.
Okay. Well, I don't need them.
Well, I got
mine.
six.
I got
tons.
Yeah, I got a sparesies as well. I'm not selling it.
I think we got like 300 requests on the website.
Oh shit! Really?
How many, Josh?
About 250.
250.
Oh. Hey, while we're at it, mad props to Josh. He's the one who puts it all together. We just talk the shit.
Turn the camera around. Get him. Get him. Get him. This is Josh from Catch Pro, everyone.
G'day.
This is his place too, so we just...
He's the one who forgets to ship the orders out. No, just joking. Just joking. No, we don't do that. All right, so back to it. So, like I know, and lots of people know this. I bought the Bushranger. It's the domestic battery snipper, right? And I'm not telling people to run out and go get it for their commercial jobs and stuff like that. I've got it because we do lots of jobs where everything is pretty neat. We're just kind of whipping over it, right?
Yeah.
The guard on that I didn't like,
Yeah.
and I pissed it off straight away. And on these battery machines now, that trimmer, that guard is set to a certain point, because if you overload that, there's a shut off. Otherwise, you'll melt the motherboard, right?
Okay.
So, what I do, the first thing that they said to me was, they're like, "Oh no, man, as a contractor, I don't know if you should run this because, it's a domestic machine, and if you take that off, it's going to cut out every 8 seconds." And I ran the guard for a little bit, saw where you could run the cord and stuff like that. Mate, I took it off and I never exceed it.
Yeah.
Like occasionally I'll accidentally do it, and if that happens, I just wind it back, boom, straight back into it. So I did see there's a couple of comments about the ego. I don't think all your commercial stuff like Still and Husky have the, what are we calling it? It's like that shut off. Like it's like a regulator.
Yeah.
So the battery will shut off because it can sense that if you keep running it like that, it's going to overheat.
Yeah. It's like the ampage gets too high. Or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
Like that,
That is another example of why these safety guards are. We can use that as a meme, eh?
Join us.
Yeah.
Join us without zero guard.
So, once again, guys, I just got to say it, that there's a lot of misleading information about why those guards are there.
It's all good to have your opinion, but to go on to a thread and say, fucking good luck in court, when you don't even know that it would even make it to court, like...
Yeah, I still got no issues with someone bringing that up as a comment.
It's a definite, as a comment, but like...
As a comment,
But it's not a fact, like you can't really go around scaremongering people with like your opinion being pushed on people as fact. We don't
that's
know.
the only problem that I have with it.
Yeah,
like,
that's
it.
Like if someone came to me and said, if someone fucking loses an eye because you're not running a guard, you will end up in court. Oh, that guard's gone back on.
Yeah,
I have to admit, I'd throw it back on because I'm not going to risk that. I'm not going to risk my house.
Also too, at the end of the day, you don't want anyone to get injured.
No, of course.
You don't want anyone to lose an eye. You don't want, we don't want these things. You don't want to hit a car that's passing by and, they crash or something. But I'll still always maintain that I just don't understand how this little guard is going to protect anything within a, you know, certain degree.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, look, I think
I think we just about covered.
I think we pretty much just covered
Yeah.
all of the guards, all of the guard stuff. I mean,
So people who actually run their guards on, please let us know about the whole upright situation, because that is something that it didn't even occur to me until I mentioned it just before. Because realistically, if you were doing uprights the same way I do them and Benny does them, just with the snipper up nice and tight, then
get up and do the stance.
Oh, fuck, here we go.
Bang.
Bang. You're going to be shooting shit everywhere anyway. So the guard is just going to be null and void. So please let us know your opinion on that.
And what about, like, say, mowers with no catches? Side discharging or... I mean, mulching's not fair.
No, but like a
that's
ZTR
contained.
with... You take the discharge chute off a ZTR.
Yeah, I did say that to Daniel Barner. I said, you know, if we're talking about modified equipment, you know, I sold him an advanced chute system. Now, I would argue all day long. I mean, BJ said this to me first. He's like, oh, are we going to be throwing you under the bus or whatever because of, you know, all of the products that we do? But I would argue until I die, I would recommend an advanced chute to anyone.
Yeah.
Over that factory guard.
Some of the shit I've taken my machine through with the advanced chute on, and you just hear, like, when I did a big mulching job I threw up on my reels the other night. Fuck, some of the rocks that I smashed there, it was on a big commercial site, and the leaves were like a foot deep, and if I didn't have that, I would be in some serious dramas.
Yeah, I mean, the advanced chute is, to me, it's way safer. As long as you're operating with it down.
Yeah.
It is way safer than any factory guard.
Yeah.
So, you know, there was a comment about, you know, would you take the guard off your saw? I'm assuming they mean a circular saw, like power saw.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's where we really want to, you know, keep saying, hey guys, common sense, there is a real true element here.
Yeah.
Like if you are rocking up to a quote and you can already see the rocks, you know, and you've got the client there,
Yeah.
you are much better off. I don't think you need to go as far as to sign something.
Yeah.
But I would be saying like, hey, if I smash that, you know, and this is like, I mean, I guess we could sidebar because I don't know, how are we running for time? Good or bad or?
Good, it's just on an hour.
Yeah, sweet.
Oh, so
We're doing good.
I didn't think we were.
No.
I thought we were, but you know, as a sidebar, you know, we go to these properties to work, and we are supposed to, you know, this is according to proper safety. You know, this is what we have to do at our village. We have to review the area and decide if there's a high risk or a low risk of, you know, injury or damages and all this other stuff. So guys and girls, if you're quoting all of these places and you see areas with rocks or somewhere where you could potentially hurt someone, hurt yourself, smash a window, I think common sense really comes into it.
Yeah.
And you're within your rights to say, look, if you want me to do this job, I'm not going to be liable.
And that's exactly what has happened at one of my villages, the one on Meadowlands Road. That one actually, I do the frontages on that, and anyone who has a garden at the front, if they have rocks, then they either have to sign off and say if there's a window done from one of their rocks, it's, you know, not got anything to do with me, or they have to do it themselves. Because
we should get together with everyone at LNCA and we should form our own document. Not that we're like one of those types of groups, but we should get a document, like a generic document that everyone has access to, that we can, you know, when you come up to because there's a lot of new contractors who, I mean, this Glen Heritage, I assume, I'd have to go back and look at the thread, but I assume he was just asking an honest question. Hey guys, are you guys running the guards, you know, rah, rah, rah. And I think for new contractors, that, they don't, if they feel more comfortable not using a guard or whatever, this would be great for them to know that you can go into these places and say, I'm not liable.
Yeah.
If you say those words, they can't make you pay for shit.
No.
And if it's a $60 lawn,
oh fuck me.
Bye bye. What are you gonna do?
The one
I've said I'm not liable for this.
Yeah.
They can do whatever they like in the whole world. You just block, not talk to you. It's no skin off. It'd be different at my village, where it's $140,000 contract a year. But I've said, either we get a budget, we get an allowance of 5 to 7 windows a year, or me and my staff are allowed to say, no, we're not performing works in this zone or area or
and
whatever.
that's a good clause to have.
Because if you smash a window, let's say it's 300-400, I don't know what, I think the excess is like one, I don't know.
My excess is $500.
Well,
And
so I think,
that's why I pay for it privately. It's cheaper to just get
yeah.
somebody
So
else to do it.
I don't think my excess is that much, but I know at the village, the windows are a standard window.
Yeah.
And so if we smash one, it's like $180.
Yeah.
And you just cop it. But let's say, to new contractors or people that, let's face it, any time you're just giving someone $180, it's never a good day.
No.
And I've smashed one that's $1,100 before.
Yeah.
And it's awful.
The one that I smashed, it ended up having to go through insurance, and it was like $1,300 or something. That was a $25 lawn.
Yeah.
It was a $25 little footpath, and I fucking got the one rock that was probably on there. It was a beautiful little lawn, but it was just right next door to a decent job I did, and the daughter of the people had just parked a brand new car outside, and I was like, knocked on the door, and no one answered, and they were all out the back, and I put a rock through a window, and I honestly didn't know until she came out and she said, I think there's something wrong with my car, and I was like, oh.
We've all been there.
Oh, man.
That is one of the, when I say, hey guys and girls, have some common sense and, say, just if you see it, be aware of your surroundings, say it, but if you're doing a job on a main road and you've got like BMWs and all this other stuff parked there, you're in a tight situation. Because sometimes, I've been there a million times. I've even been abused, someone's come up and said, well, what do you think you're doing snipping near my car? And my comment was, fucking move it.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't own the property.
No.
He just was parked there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, I can make the decision like, oh geez, I might smash a window here.
Yeah.
And I can elect not to do that job. But if it's like normal grass and they're just worried about dust and debris, it's like, move your car, jerk. That's how I feel.
Well, like one of my commercial properties that I do just came to me on Thursday last week, and they're like, yeah, we don't want you to blow the car park anymore. I'm like, why not? They're like, well, the car's got dusty.
Crybabies.
I'm like,
because of crybabies.
Sweet, there's fucking 45 minutes of my life back.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
I don't care.
If you're not giving up income, it's alright.
No, that's exactly right. I'm not going to discount it because they don't want a little bit of dust on their car.
Yeah. Alright, well, I reckon it's time to put a bow on this. We unpacked a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed it. Episode was a little bit up and down.
Yeah.
Lots to discuss. Look, in summary, do you think we've highlighted enough points of why we think the trimmer guard is there?
Yeah, I think we have. I think
to limit the cord, to save the engine, operator safety. That's my conclusion.
Yeah.
I think it does offer some third party, protection.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I don't think it's there.
No, I don't think it's there for third party. That's just my opinion. But like I said at the start, give us the feedback. We need it. We want it. We crave it.
Just quickly, our mate Ruben.
Oh.
Can we call him Ruby?
Yeah.
Will he like that?
I don't think so, but that's alright.
Alright, so he mentioned that he doesn't use the guards because they're heavy.
Yeah.
And that someone should bring out a carbon fibre one. because that shit's light.
Yeah, true.
That's a cool idea. And he's like, oh, tell Bennett Catch Pro to do it, but
Yeah.
man, I don't want to. Why don't you can do it? But that would be really cool.
What do I call it?
Hmm?
What do I call it?
The Ruby.
the Ruby Guard.
The Ruby Guard. Yeah, so I mean, it's just like there was a lot of input, a lot of good,
Yeah.
lot of whether I agreed with it or not,
Yeah.
it's all good topics to talk about.
Yeah, any discussion's good discussion.
Yeah. So remember, everybody, that you can hit up BJ on Instagram at TBL. I got that right?
Yep.
TikTok at.
The Bearded Lawnsman.
And you can also hit us up on the Lawn Care Skull Sessions page. We've been trying to post some little bit more larrikin. You guys have got to tell us what it is that we can get away with, because in the LMCA group, I feel like I'm just talking to the LMCA group tonight. But we can be a little bit more adventurous.
Yeah.
Josh always tries to censor me.
Yeah.
And look, I understand. I'm just the mower man who builds the patches.
You guys
Josh
work
is
together.
He's the brains behind it. He does all the marketing, but.
I'm like the unleashed dog.
On Lawn Care Skull Sessions, the Instagram page, everybody jump on that and give us a follow, because then, would you agree that we can be a little bit more adventurous on there? Is that right, Josh?
Sure, why not?
Can we? I've got access to that, and I've got some good photos in the bank.
Yeah, he's the Photoshop, although someone's the real shit. The more people that get on there and follow that, the more that we can, and I've also just got access to the page, so if you guys are sending stuff in, I can actually respond now.
Yep, sweet.
Whereas before I didn't have access to it.
Yeah.
So
we really want to make this a thing, like as a community.
We want everyone to be a part of it.
Yeah.
So we're just got to figure out how we're going to do the guests.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's something that we've got some pretty cool people that want to hang out with us, which is fucking crazy. Like, yeah.
We just got to figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
So, because in person,
yeah,
POV would be better.
I've got some good ideas.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and remember to jump on and have a listen, give us a like, do all that sort of stuff. Thank you.